Mickey Mantle cards dominated the top vintage baseball card sales for June on eBay. But one card, which was not a Mantle, sold for close to $50,000. Today, we're going to be covering the top 30 sales. And let's start off this list. Starting off the list this week, we have a 1953 Mantle plagued with the old OC qualifier and old slab. This one sold for $7,500, and you can definitely tell this is quite OC top to bottom. But the bottom corner over here, the bottom edge, not too bad. $7,877 back-to-back Mantles. This is a 1959 in PSA 8 grade. The centering though is kind of off for an 8 in my opinion. And obviously, PSA disagreed with me giving that an 8, but it's shifted quite up a bit. You can see top to bottom and then left to right. 78.94 for this BVG 8 of Pete Rose. Now, images on this aren't too great. It's kind of a dull image. Doesn't look like it has a ton of wear up there, but you can see from these images over here. But this lighter one, it looks like it may not have, like you can see it's shifted. The registration, right? See the face outline in here, face outline in there. So it has some registration issues. And that definitely impacts the price on some of these cards because people want to have really good registration. This 1957 Willie Mays sold for $9,000. Another BVG. Usually we don't even see any BVGs on these lists, but this actually has really good centering for a 57. Back centering, not great, but you want to have that front centering. And you have the subgrades over here, edges 8.5. That's the only thing that stopped it from being all 9s. Really, really a great looking Willie Mays card here. 1954. This one sold for $9,088 in a PSA 6 grade. Over to the back. Not the cleanest edge I've seen on this card, but the front looks pretty good overall, minus some centering, or it's like miscut. I can't tell. Look, kind of looks like the photos warped a bit. $10,099.99 for this 1953 Willie Mays. Auto has the authentic grade, although I think those are just scratches on the case. I think that auto would 10. I don't know why you wouldn't get the dual grade. And you know what? Props to the seller for showing that crease there, because most people would not show that crease. And I didn't even see that crease just looking at this image. So major props to the seller for that one. And saw that in the corner, which I assume that's the reason why I got it too. But you pair that with that crease, I mean, you can't even see it. Yeah, major props there. $10,750 for this 1948 Leaf Larry Doby. And this is Doby's best card. It's very tough to find. You can see pop 12 with 6 higher for this PSA 7. I barely see these at card shows. Beyond the National, I think I've only seen this once at Houston. I've maybe seen it at some other shows. I'm not 100% looking for this card, but I barely see it in showcases. And this is a great looking 7. $11,199 for this T206 Piedmont Ty Cobb in a 5 grade. $12,500 for this 1952 Willie Mays in a 5. Great centering. I will say top to bottom it's not the best, but left to right doesn't look too bad. But for 52s, they tend to be really, really bad centering. So I would consider this towards the great side of things. I wonder how much of a premium that sold for based off of other 5s, or if that was right in line with comps. $12,601. Mantle has his mouth taped shut on this card. Oh man, This got the altar designation. PSA wouldn't even give this a 1. I am kind of shocked with this card. Ken Boswell, a PSA 10 for this 1971 set, which is like impossible to find in that shape. $12,655. Congrats to whoever's registry just got this 10. Look at that. I mean, that's just a beautiful looking card. $12,800 for this 1933 Lou Gehrig in a PSA 5. Take a look at the back. Nice clean copy. $13,250 for this 1924 Willard's Chocolate of Babe Ruth. Pretty high asking price at $77,777. But awesome card out of Canada. Again, these aren't the toughest to find, but you don't see them that often. $14,000 for this 1933 Gaudi. Another BVG on the list this week. And this one has a 4-5. I don't think this crosses over to a 4-5, but it's a fairly clean copy. $14,300 for 1953 Bowman Mantle and that PSA 8. Super, super old label. Man, that is way old. Has some centering issues. Left it to right. Not the worst looking 8. Get this in a new label. Or not new label, but yeah, I mean a new label, but you'd still tell it's old because of that zero. $14,544. I mean, that's some horrible centering on this Jackie Robinson. I talked about the maze and how it had pretty good centering. Look at how bad this one is. I mean, it's miscut and it's shifted to the top right. Not good at all. I mean, from the technical perspective, though, those corners are sharp, but yeah, really, really bad miscut. $14,750 for this 1954 Banks 8.5. Huge missed opportunity to get this into a new slab. Huge missed opportunity. I think you would have gotten a little bit more money. And you can't tell if it's an old slab or a new slab with SGCs. And since the certs are all over the place. $14,988 for this Willie Mays 5. Centering can be desired. Does look like it has some issues, maybe some staining right over there, corner wear. I don't think this gets a 5 today. I think this is like more equivalent to like a 3, maybe a 4. $15,000 for this 1907-09 postcard by Cobb. Cobb has quite a few postcards in this time frame. And right over here. Copyrighted 1907. That's how they assume part of the dating process for some of these postcards on the baseball side of things. $15,000 for this 1953 Whitey Ford 8 grade. Awesome centering. That actually outsold the Mantle in an 8, which shocks me, right? Because we had the 53 Mantle 8 that was earlier. Never would I see a Whitey Ford outselling a Mickey Mantle in an 8. I don't know how much of a premium this is over other 8s, but like this is a super nice card. I mean, there is some sort of diagonal cut, looks like right there, but regardless, it's centered nice. Unless the image is a little wavy, which I can't tell either. But I think this is a massive sale. All right, so I was generally curious on some of these sales for the 53 Bowman Ford in an 8. So it looks like the last sale at a REA auction sold for $10,800, and then there was another memory lane at $10,359. There was one buy it now on eBay in 2022 for $25,000, but most of the rest have been around $10,000. So you're looking at about a 50% markup on that. And just for the Mantle side of things, because we did cover the Mantle, let me just add this up really quick. So Mantle is looking at, for an 8, also around Well, mantles around 13 to 15. That one sale was 14.3, but the last other sales there was a 13.2 at PWCC, a 15.561, a bunch of other 15s, a few 17s also sprinkled in. So mantles in line. This Whitey Ford seems like it was kind of high, but you're definitely paying for that centering. $15,399 for this 51 Bowman mantle. 3. You always see these off centered. There's actually a pretty big premium if you can find these centered, but it's not the case with this one. $16,221 for this T206 green cob. And it got a 4 grade. Old cert, but like this looks almost in line. Maybe a little too much on that corner for a 4, but doesn't look too bad, at least from these images. $17,334 for this 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth in a 3.5. $17,750 for this 1955 Clemente PSA 7. Okay, so I know I showed another mantle earlier, and I don't want to repeat cards, but I mean, this is extraordinary right here. That whole corner is like chewed off. Missing another part of a corner. And you have these two over here. I mean, and this still sold for 21,000. This sold by Dave's Vintage Cards. Amazing. And normally, if there's a raw mantle card, I am not going to put it on this list because chances are it's fake. But when you have a name Dave's Vintage Card and you sold $4,354, yeah, I most likely believe that this is a true card. And I know I could look at it and do a lot more observations and stuff like that. The coloring looks pretty good for me. And no, this is just a video on top sales. It's not on counterfeits, but I will show you some counterfeits a little bit later, which are kind of laughable. $26,000 for this 1960 Topps Mantle SGC9. This is a really nice grade for this card. $30,000. 1949 Leaf. It's a 49 release, not 48. This Jackie Robinson PSA 6. And the top sale over $49,500 for this Ty Cobb E121 in an 8. This seller, by the way, has some insane cards. Just to show you really quick, because I've checked out his inventory before. This just scratches the surface, right? If you look at some of the featured items and things like that. 1968 O-Pee-Chee Ryan 10. A 9. I mean, this is insane. If we go to highest price, this has to be like one of the best eBay stores out there. I mean, SGC 10 mint, the normal Topps Ryan, and the O-Pee-Chee. Vezina PSA 6, but it says rookie card proof. I'm just curious. I don't know. I didn't want to add to cart there. I can't afford that. But what amazing cards that are on here. Look at this type of stuff. You can spend a lot of time going through this eBay store. But I will not be doing that. Just showing you guys what type of stuff this guy has. All right, so I mentioned fakes. Up first, we have this 1914 Cracker Jack Cobb. I mean, look at those colors. This is 100% what a Cracker Jack looks like. Trust me, it has a BVG certificate over here. Yikes. No description, nothing. 1914 Cracker Jack Ty Cobb authenticated. I mean, put a little bit more effort into your fakes. This is pretty bad. The other one, look at this label. It looks way off. And I'm gonna look up that cert. Is like this label looks wavy to me, and the seller has 0 feedback. You're not selling a 69 Jackson. 0 feedback. So let's look up this PSA cert. The whole slab looks off to me. And the number on this one is 020. Let's go here. 020 11029. So this sold for $84,000 in 2021 on this one right over here. So let's see what it looks like at Heritage Auctions. Now, take a look at both of these. Are they the same? And obviously I can't really zoom in on these as much as I would want to. But and also this one is like in the PSA slab all the way at the very top. This one is not, and not to say it couldn't get pushed up there, but yeah, those are different cards. You can see how much centering is over here on the left in comparison to this one right over here. It's a shame. PSA is gonna have to take this one off the market because 100% fake slab, but I assume they will when this goes through eBay authenticity. Let's see what other fakes this guy's selling. See the sold items. Nope, just that one. Card lot vintage Pokemon collection. So major yikes with that Reggie Jackson. Very bad fake. But let's go into some honorable mentions now. A 1951 Bowman completed set. 6 graded cards. This sold for $15,000. Mantle's a 1. And Willie Mays is a what? It's a 3MK. Mark somewhere on the back. It's not the best centering. Then you get an autograph card thrown in. You get a Whitey Ford in a 2. A few other graded cards. So, oh, you also get a pack wrapper. It's kind of nice as a throw-in, but we're gonna start off with that at $15K. $6,500 for this Ty Cobb Gold. I think that's actually kind of cheap. I could be wrong on my Ty Cobb comps on this one, but I'm thinking like a 1 is anywhere from 2 to 3K, and like this is a really nice looking 3. I know it has those corners, but you don't see a lot of edgeware on it. Unless it's just getting covered up. Usually you see a lot more with lower grade stuff. $3,250 for this 1967 Ted Williams 3.5. Great grade for a 67 Venny. Most of these are going to be glued in. And obviously Ted Williams, one of the top 5 to 10 players of all time. $3,200, 1953 Bowman Pee Wee Reese. Not bad centering on this side of things. $2,000 for this George Merritt. Love this old school slab over here, but this got the OC qualified. $7,500 for this 1955 complete set. Roberto Clemente got a PSA of a 4, and you have that Sandy Koufax, which they probably should have got that graded, unless they mentioned it couldn't be graded beforehand. No, I think you should have probably got that graded. I mean, that's a high value card. I could swing it, $1,000 in either direction based off of that card. And it looks kind of nice. I mean, it looks like it's 4+. Although I've done 4 or 5 videos today, so kind of tired of looking at baseball cards. But I think one more honorable mention. $3,500 for this 1952 9OC. Now, I was curious what 7s were going for on this card, so I looked them up. And the last 7 sale was $5,200. It had better centering, granted. Then another 7 sale, $3,800. The colors weren't as good, And I'm looking also, by the way, the same red color back. Then there was another one at 2,800, and those were the 3.7 sales this year. So it's about online. It's about right where it should be price point. Maybe a tad bit higher, but people will pay for those higher grades with the qualifier associated with them. So that's it for the vintage baseball card sales for the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do 2 top 30 videos every single week, auction recaps, and much more. All right, I'll catch you in another video.